John, I know you guys are all forced to go day to day, not really knowing what the next day is going to bring. Have you just accepted that from the coach's chair, you're maybe going to feel a touch more unprepared going into any season, going into this season more than you have any season before? Is that a hard thing to get your arms around, having just a few practices, a couple scrimmages, not exhibition games? Does it drive the old coach crazy, or have you accepted it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't drive me crazy. I think years ago it would have, but it really doesn't. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It, Fortsy, I look at it this way. We complain about one thing here as far as what's going on worldwide. In real life, we need to give our head a shake.
Yeah.
And so we are fortunate to be doing the things we love. And is it different? Yeah. Is it going to be more and more different each and every day? Probably. But my God, let's just wake up here. We're playing a sport.
Yeah. Certain relief this morning to know that you've got a bunch of guys back at practice. Not everybody, but a bunch.
Yeah. And, we're going to have situations like that again.
Yeah.
I was driving in early this morning, waiting for voters' call, and I was ready to go one way or another, in a small group or in a big group, scrimmage or not scrimmage. All those things are in your head. You say about being unprepared. I think what it is, you're almost more prepared because you have all the audibles in your head, and what you need to do, because you just, that's just the way it is. That's the landscape. And so, yeah, I'm practices. I thought the practice was okay. I thought the scrimmage sucked, and I don't have an answer for the scrimmages. It's like it's just so hard to get them to do the things you really want them competing at. But we got more minutes out of it today. Got a chance to work on some power play stuff and penalty killing. So I thought it was a good day. It's a long day. I mean, we're practicing a long time, really out of necessity, especially, 14, 15 of them missing yesterday. So, yeah, we'll get ready to go tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, next question goes to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Torts, you've talked a lot so far in camp here about trying to maybe schematically create some more offense and encourage them to be more offensive. But personnel-wise, you bring in a guy like Domi, you bring in Grigorenko, you've got some young guys that have some offensive upside. Do you like personnel-wise, do you think you have the ability to score some more goals this year as well?
Well, what month is it? What are we in, January?
Yeah. Yes.
Talk to me mid-February. I'll let you know. And we're going to try. We have to do it from within. You just don't go out and trade for high offensive people and sign a big free agent that's going to just jack up your offense. We need to develop from within. We have some young guys that we feel eventually are going to be goal scorers. And we're relying on some veteran guys to have better years. And we're relying on coaches to try to open it up for them also without losing ourselves as a team. So all those things come into play. But I don't have an answer. I just watch our power play, and it looked absolutely awful. One of the groups looked absolutely awful for the first 4 or 5 reps. Then when Max Domi starts trying to play downhill and take shots on goal and attack the net, everything changes. So you get excited about those things. And, it's just trying to find, first our power play, the right groups, and trying to stay with them. And that certainly falls on me, where I can't get frustrated so quickly, so they can get some sort of feel together, but just seeing it more consistently. And certain parts of the day I feel really good about it. Other parts of the day I just shake my head. But that's what a coach does, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay, next question goes to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, John. Is there certain parts of the game that, would benefit you most as a coach or the coaching staff if you could get them to scrimmage the way you want them to scrimmage? Or is it just kind of everything like that you're assessing?
No, it's not everything. I just, for me, you try to get them to bang and grind a little bit, because we just don't have much time. We're playing in 5 more days, I think it is. And it's hard to get him to do that. And it's always been hard to do that unless you're way back in the day when there was fights involved in it. But the hockey landscape, the hockey game has just totally changed. But it's just playing with speed. It's just playing with pace. And trying to, I can see some of the things we've worked on with the puck offensively. I can see guys trying to do things like that, which is encouraging. But I just want to see us on the attack more with speed. And I don't think we've had enough minutes in our scrimmages that way. Hopefully tomorrow night we'll get some more.
Yeah, you kind of switching up here really quick. I mean, you only have 4 goalies basically. One of them's out today. How big was that to get, Matisse Kavlinik's experience last year, and for you and for him, for him to get confidence and you to gain confidence in him as well? Do you?
Yeah, it's really both ways, because I think for a coach, you can see that he can play, and more importantly, does he think he can play? And I think he stood in there really nicely in some of the spots we put him in, and and that's a guy that's still learning the game. So it's encouraging for us as far as that third guy. It's going to be some, you have to juggle this a little bit. You have your taxi squad, but Kivy, he's got to get some games. There's a lot of things that come into play with this taxi squad stuff that it's going to be interesting when I think probably tomorrow after the scrimmage, we'll probably have some decisions made on that and cut our camp a bit, because Monday comes around, we need to be ready at that time.
Yeah. Last thing I have for you is you've talked about this before camp and a little bit on the first day with Texier maybe in the middle. It looked like he was in the middle today a little bit. I mean, do you just kind of want to get that look and see what you got there,
Yep.
right away, and then go from there?
Yeah, I want to look at that, see where he is. I still think that's the spot he's going to be in as his career keeps on moving. It moves. I wanted to see Nash on right wing. Well, I think Nash has improved tremendously the past couple of years, and in all the spots that we've put him in. What does our center ice look with Tex in the middle and Nash over to the right side? And when Mikko comes back, there's a number of different things I want to look at the center ice position. Grigorenko, he can play center. So there's certain things we want to look at as best we can in such a short period of time.
All right. Next question goes to Nick Costanica. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, John, I wanted to ask you, how are you?
Good.
I want to ask you about the coaching challenge of this season. Like when you're playing division opponents 8 times and you're playing back-to-back or even more than that, as a coach, are you approaching this more like the playoffs where you'll tailor your game plan more to the opponent, make adjustments? Like when you're seeing Tampa 8 times, can you use things you'd use in a playoff series in the regular season more than you would normally?
Yeah, it's a great question, Nick, because I'm not a big we are not, I've never been as a coach, and our coaching staff, we've never been, we don't spend a lot of time talking about the other team, because you play that team and then you go into the next city on the next night and it's a total different team. So I don't like spending a lot of time, but this, I got to see how it plays out as far as the pre-scouting. I think you might be able to pick on tendencies more of another team in regular season, like we do in playoffs, because we just don't play any teams. We play our division, and so you're going to know them better. You're going to know their personnel better, and maybe there's some things you can pick on. We're always looking in our special teams. We're always looking at the other team, and we show video on that. But 5-on-5, we don't. I still don't think there'll be a lot of video on them, but I think there could be some more thought into some things that you can pick on that team because you see them so often.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Problem, man.
All right. Thanks, Tort.